Hey, what's up my friends? Mark Allred with you again today to give you another songwriting tip. I had someone ask a question earlier this week. How can I get better at writing my verses? What are some techniques that I can use? Because sometimes we get into a rut and we need some help. So what I'm going to give you today is something that's called rhyme and lyric patterns. That is a structure that truly helps you be way more creative by giving you some boundaries. It's like they give you some buckets and you just got to fill them with your own creativity. So what I'm going to show you and what I'm going to go through with is called rhyme and lyric patterns. Let's start with rhymes. If you haven't yet, you probably want to take a screenshot of this so you can save it for later, okay? So rhyme patterns is a way that you can structure your verses based upon a rhyming scheme to help you be more... for some reason, rhyming is something that our minds anticipate, and it's an effective way to maintain people's attention, and it's often used as a way to like retain information. So this is a way, if you really want to have your songs land well with people and for it to stick in their minds, rhyming schemes are an effective way to do it. So let's talk about what these are. And this is for lines of 4. So I'm just sticking to lines of 4 for these patterns, right? So what this means here, XAXA means X, lines 1 and 3 don't rhyme, and lines 2 and 4 do. This is very effective in storytelling when what you're saying doesn't necessarily have to rhyme, but these 2 and 4 do. It's really awesome. For number 2 here, all 4, AAAA, just means that all 4 lines end in a rhyme. The last word of every line rhymes. ABAB means lines 1 and 3, they end in a rhyme, and lines 2 and 4 end in a rhyme. Get the pattern? AABB, 1 and 2 rhyme, 3 and 4 rhyme. AABA means lines 1, 2, and 4 rhyme, and 3 doesn't rhyme. And the last one, ABAA, lines 1, 3, and 4 rhyme, and line 2 doesn't. And what you'll learn is that for certain scenarios and in certain contexts and songs, different patterns are more effective. For example, if you're using a song where it's a faster tempo and the lyrics are coming at you faster, whether it's rap or something else, you'll find that AABB is a much more effective method because for some reason our minds and our ears anticipate faster and closer rhyme patterns versus slower songs. Really, ABAB is a very effective pattern and our minds anticipate that, and when the end of the phrase comes up, for some reason we want to hear it. And when we do, it's very satisfying and very gratifying because we can latch on to that in our minds and in our ears. So these rhyme patterns are a very effective method of writing verses. So next time you write a verse, choose one of these before you actually start writing your words for the lyrics and use one of them as a guide to help give you some boundaries to be creative. All right, let's move over to the next side. Beep. So this is the lyric pattern side, okay? So again, if you haven't, you might want to take a screenshot of this. So before I write my verses, I'll usually free write. And if you don't do this, I highly recommend it. And I split my free writing into 2 columns. Usually we're trying to describe a scenario, an event, a situation, or an emotion or something like that. And what I do is I create 2 columns. One column about my thoughts, and then one column about the senses associated with that moment. And I try to just fill it with as many pieces of ideas as possible. I don't try to write the lyrics. I just try to free write. It's like a data dump, emotional verbal dump of all the thoughts and feelings that I can. But putting it into 2 columns is critical because there are patterns, very common and successful patterns that are used to help you structure these ideas, right? So ST that I'm using up here basically means thoughts and senses. Okay, so the first pattern that I want to talk about is STST. That means line 1 is about a sensory description. Line 2 is about a thought. Line 3 is a sensory description, and line 4 is a thought. So you get it? So here's another variation: sensory, thought, thought. Sensory, thought. In another pro tip, the quickest way for someone to be able to relate to you who is a stranger is a sensory description, I promise you. Because we may feel like we're very different and we may come from different backgrounds and whatnot, but the one thing that we all have in common with other humans is we all have senses. So we all know what it means to be hungry, to be cold, to desire, to be tired. You know, all these things we have in common because we all have senses. So that's the quickest way for someone to be able to relate to you. So the more sensory descriptions you use, the quicker someone will be able to relate to your song. So these structures, again, choose one and then structure your verse after this pattern. And if you feel like that's not, I need something else, choose a different one. But putting these boundaries around your verse before you actually dive into it is a really effective method to help you be creative, because when you hit that writer's block, grab a rhyme scheme and then grab a lyric pattern and then just fill it. And if that doesn't feel magical, that doesn't feel like you're really doing it, pick another one. But instead of just sitting there and waiting for inspiration to hit, because it won't, don't force it. Create your craft. Become really good at this, and you'll notice, and as you get to know more and more songwriters, you realize there are a lot that use stuff like this so they can be more effective, write better songs, and be quicker at it, instead of those of us who are just going to wait around. So these are some great tips that I love to use, and a lot of great full-time songwriters use, that I hope you liked it, and I hope you use it, and I can't wait to see the songs that you write based upon some of these new ideas. Again, my name is Mark Allred. If you like what you heard, please subscribe, like, comment, share, and all that cool stuff. And until next time, see you around.